Oh, is it that time of week again, Jeremy? You're wearing a hoodie. I'm wearing a t-shirt, and we're going live. Happy Sunday fun day, everyone. Welcome back to our weekly live stream where we get to hang out with you guys. Read your comments in the live chat if you're tuning in at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Jeremy usually likes to start the live off with a song. I'm pretty sure we're in the middle of summer and you're wearing a hoodie.
It almost got to 90 degrees, and now it's 60 degrees again.
Mother Nature's on that roller coaster, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to start calling Mother Nature lips. That's what I think I'm going to start calling Mother Nature. You know, bipolar, all over the place. Because she's... Wait, hold a second. Because she's a bad girl. All right. I was going a whole nother direction, but you threw me off there, George.
All right, well, why don't you take it away with the song that you were going to sing on this lovely Sunday?
Well, I'll sing about you now. She's a good girl. Loves her mama. Loves Jesus. And Elvis, too. I say she's a good girl. All right, we'll go another direction.
Keep going. You were doing just fine.
All they want to be is like what the hell's. All they want to be is like what the hell's. But they're all out there spinning tails. Just call them, hey, they failed. They're not the what the hell's. Give me somebody's name in the chat.
Okay, let's go with Maxie.
Maxie? All I want to be is like Maxie. All I want to be is like Maxie. I don't want an Uber. I want a taxi. I want to ride with Maxie.
Let's go with Dawn.
Dawn? What rhymes with Dawn?
Gone. Gone.
All I want to be is like Dawn. All I want to be is like Dawn. If I make her yawn, I know she'll be gone. I want to be like Dawn.
What about Bad Duck?
Oh boy. All right, let's see what we got.
Let's give it a whirl.
All I want to be is like Bad Duck. All I want to be is like Bad Duck. Don't press your luck. It's been way too long. We've been apart. I haven't even had a sandwich from Ground Chuck. I want to be like Bad Duck.
Quack, quack. Let's go with Dana.
Dana. All I want to be is like Dana. All I want to be is like Dana. She's from Michigan, and we know those Michigan people, they're all insane.
That's not true. We love Grandma Jerry from Michigan.
But I still want to be like Dana.
Let's go with Jessica.
Jessica. All I want to be is like Jessica. All I want to be is like Jessica. She ain't no Messica. She's better than the rest of the That's why I want to be like Jessica.
You want one more?
One more.
All right, one more. Let's go with Linda.
Linda?
Linda, listen, Linda.
All I want to be is like Linda. All I want to be is like Linda. Hey, George, you think Linda would be good for the dinner? I want to be like Linda.
Double Karma says, JH, you're nuts, but we love it. All right. Give it up for Jeremy. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. It's been a one heck of a week.
Don't you mean one Hales of a week?
One Hales of a week. I mispronounced Hales.
I think it's going to be one Hales of a week next week. When's June 18th? We got court June 18th. Lynette, sanctions. Oh boy, sanctions and legal fees and woo, June 18th. Oh man.
Well, those are new to the story that have made up their own timeline. Need to know that the 18th is for sanctions for a frivolous lawsuit.
Frivolous lawsuits, yes.
That was withdrawn twice, two times.
Yes. And then
county and federal.
Yeah. And we have not allowed it to be withdrawn. We are pursuing with countersuit and counterclaims. And that will be the exact same with other lawsuits that are frivolously filed against us. Oh, boy. How much do you think Judge Davis is going to fine them?
I don't know. I don't know him personally. I don't know any judge personally. We just know of them. And from what I'm hearing from locals that do know him,
he don't mess around.
From what I'm hearing is he is business and he doesn't mess around. And so,
yeah.
I mean, the last time we saw Judge Davis when Lynette voluntarily dismissed the thumbnail, or actually the protection order lawsuit that she filed against you when when she paid Silverman $16,000 to defend her.
Other people's money.
Of other people's money.
Talk about theft without being arrested for actual theft. Stealing people's money to pay a lawyer for a frivolous lawsuit, and those people will never see that money back. That's theft in my mind.
So when she voluntarily withdrew that frivolous lawsuit with an attorney who she paid with other people's money, he said, I do not want to see either one of you in my courtroom again.
Guess what? We coming back. Coming back. By the way, speaking of attorneys, the word out on the interwebs, as I hear it's called, with what is those webcasting? Is that what they do on the interweb? They webcast. By the way, who's George? Okay, so
who is George?
Apparently,
let's pay a journalist your hard-earned money on a journalist who doesn't even know who George is. Let's just open your wallet and just give him money.
Oh my goodness, more theft without actually being actionable to be arrested for it. Give me your money, I'll investigate. By the way, who's George? Come on. Anyways,
wasn't it like 3 months later and he's still asking who's George?
Yeah, that was pretty good there.
How embarrassing.
But we know who Jackson is. There's no doubt about that. Got plenty of information there. But let's keep going forward in regards to this lawyer that is now going to represent her. Word is through the webcast on the interwebs is that I'm going to be so mad once I find out who this lawyer is. Now, here's what I believe is going to happen. Okay,
are you going to be? Hold on a second. I thought it wasn't. You're going to be mad. It was going to blow your mind.
Oh, it's going to blow my mind. Okay, well, let's talk about who would blow my mind. All right, number one, which I would think is hilarious and would be so awesome.
Well, hold on a second. Can I get a guess in before you put in your guess?
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, she did say she was the best attorney. She did a really good job being her own attorney. So it's her. It's going to be her. That would blow your mind.
That would.
I mean, we've got lawyers that are practicing illegally under their spouse's license. And
very true. That's coming up in court.
I mean, she could do the same thing with the same spouse, right? She could practice law under that person's license behind the scenes, because I guess she's allowed to, right?
Apparently, there are those out there that used to have a license that are stating that that's legal. They're allowed to. Well, it's going into court and the bar and other places as well. But I digress. Okay, I think that's a great guess.
I think it's an amazing, that would blow our minds. I think it would blow everybody's minds, not just yours. If she claimed that she too could practice law under somebody else's license, because it's allowed, it's legal here in Florida. After all, this is Florida, right?
You know what? Somebody with the name legal said that it was legal, therefore it must be true, right? So I think what would blow my mind, which honestly, I'm not sure much will at this point. We've seen so much freaking insanity. And as I mentioned that, to be on that side of the quote unquote fence, the garbage fence, and to think that recruiting more psychotic, more mentally unstable, more convicts, more felons, more scammers, more con artists is going to help the cause. None of this is helping. But here's what I think, okay, which no, well, I won't say think. I'll say this is what I would love, which would be amazing.
Thanks, Jen.
Originally, Scott Stark was supposed to represent her in federal court. And then,
according to Marley, but this is Marley we're talking about. According to
Deuce, according to Deuce in his own writings and his own interviews, which we have, which will all be in court as well, which actually goes through the process of him. He admits openly about ambulance chasing. Now, he doesn't use those terms, but he clearly admits in writing and in interviews with Stupid Dave, with Fleesa, that he saw all of this online and he interjected himself. And that's like the hugest no-no. But I think it would be hilarious and mind-blowing if Stark actually files as representation, which would be hilarious, especially since he's going to be under sanctions here.
I don't think he has the cojones to. I don't think it's him, but it's a good guess.
But his wife just mentioned they got a ton of money. His wife literally just posted.
She said that she thinks there's no guarantee, but how they don't even have a vehicle, so how would they even drive to Pensacola?
They got an inflow of money and got a vehicle. She posted it. It's on her thread.
I personally haven't seen it. I
don't know if I shared it with you, to be honest. I mean, there's so much garbage out there that you and I don't really talk about this when we talk. We talk about our normal lives. Yeah.
I think what I read was just delusions. It's very hard to decipher what she types because she types just like Lynette. Like the
you would almost think that Stark's wife is Lynette. You would think because the two of the styles are exactly the same. Insane. What it comes down to.
Delusional too.
Yeah. So I think it would be mind-blowing and Hale's hilarious if Stark represented her in federal court, especially seeing as he's coming under sanctions here on June 18th. Now, no doubt they're going to try something. Frankly, in my mind, what I think they're going to do is...
Wait, can I take another guess?
Oh, all right, go for it.
I'm going to take it. I'm going to agree with Martin S. It's Deuce's wife who's going to represent them in court under Deuce's license. That would blow everybody's mind.
Oh, that would blow everybody's mind. Okay, that would be hilarious. Now, we also... I think it would be hilarious as well if another lawyer in Orlando who's married, going through a divorce. I mean, 3 different divorces in the past year alone, with allegations of, what are the allegations in there again?
So there were 3 filings of a dissolution, plus there were 3 filings of domestic violence with children.
Yeah.
And then all within a year, all within 1 year.
And her oldest put a video out today, disowning her mom. And so I think it would be hilarious if those 2 stepped up for representation. Oh my good. Like I at one point I was like, you could never find a worse lawyer than Deuce. Deuce is the best lawyer I've never had to pay. And now he's coming under huge disciplinary sanctions, which I mean, that's coming up real quick. June 12th is the next hearing in federal court. And then after that, once this is unpaused, then it's go time with the federal magistrate. But I used to think there was nobody worse than Deuce, and the anti-ecosystem keeps showing us it can get worse.
Yeah.
So here's what I think they're going to do on the 18th. I think they are going to attempt to stall yet again. I do not believe Judge Davis will allow it by any stretch of the imagination. I think they're going to try and stall with a motion of representation, which we'll be able to share, and there will be further sanctions because of it if they do that, because we'll be able to share. The money was raised. Everything was already moving forward. They had representation. There was no need for any more stalling. And I don't believe Judge Davis at this point is going to tolerate it, especially as no medical records have been shown whatsoever, no evidence of Stark being in the emergency room. And if we're talking in circles that some of you guys are going, what in the world is going on? This
It's a lot.
The insanity of these insane people is so difficult even to keep up. Like all day today, I was in the office just working on evidence for court. Just working on evidence as a court. And so as they bring in more insane people, that's more evidence. We go, well, here's more, and here's more, and here's more. And then we have to pass that over to the legal team. So I do believe they're going to try and stall again on the 18th. I don't believe Judge Davis will allow it whatsoever. And
so you believe that this attorney that they've raised funds for weeks ago is going to file a motion for appearance on her behalf the day before or the day of to stall?
Yeah, that's what I believe. That's what I believe. And you and I haven't talked about this yet, but that's what I believe. I believe it's going to be another stall tactic, and I don't believe Judge Davis will allow it at all. And so it's going to be interesting to see. That's for sure. Especially
Candace said this is all your fault that all these people are falling in the woodwork. So just blame Jeremy.
Just blame me.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's got to have a good scapegoat. And I am the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what George tells me. I'm the greatest of all time, what she's ever had.
I literally don't remember ever calling you the GOAT.
Okay. Oh, wait. You told me I was as bloated as a boat. That's what you were saying. I was the boat.
I remember telling you that you're not allowed to get any goats.
Oh, you were saying I wasn't. Yeah. You have definitely told me that. Except if you saw the property right now, I think you would want a bunch of goats. But you ain't seen the property, so wait.
That property used to be land for animals, right? To eat, and they would eat all of the hay and keep the property clean.
Are you talking about the hobby farm, the warehouse space?
Yes.
Yeah. That was a hobby farm that I bought at auction. Yeah. The warehouse. And now we don't mow it at all. And I wish there were animals there because it's out of control. It is out of control. There's no doubt about that. Thank you, everybody, sending the super chats. We are going to talk about this defendant in the federal case that has asked for a deal. We are going to get there. Now, one of the things I do want to share in regards to this defendant, we have narrowed it down. Last week, we narrowed it down to it's a male. We narrowed it down to it's a Dave, and there are 2 Daves. And if you want to throw Donor Dave in there, there's 3 Daves, but Donor Dave isn't a defendant in this.
He's not a defendant, so
yeah.
He wouldn't.
And this is extremely, extremely real. Extremely real that a defendant came forward and asked to make a deal. And now here's the funniest part, right? Here's the funniest part. The other side of this, the anti what the Hale side, continues to go, there's no plea deals in civil cases. When did anybody ever say a plea deal? Did you ever say a plea deal, George?
No, but if you've paid attention to the pattern of behavior and their reporting, they always take things and they twist it. They misinterpret everything, and so does Lynette.
So just so we're all clear, there is no such thing as a plea deal. There is no prosecutor that you're going to deal with the state or the government in regards to this. This is a deal that they've asked for with me personally through their people to my people. Nobody has ever said a plea deal. And how anybody could be so ignorant, so stupid to ever go plea deal. There's no such thing as, nobody's ever said plea deal. We said deal. They've asked for a deal. Now, to be very clear, they said that they had information that would put away these people forever. And in exchange for that information, they would pay a portion of the lawsuit amount that they are being sued for. So now we have to think, who would have access to that amount of money? Because this is a $9+ million lawsuit, and it's going to get larger. Other people are being added. And
in the totality.
And so in its totality, and you got to go, who would have access to that kind of money? Now, Stupid Dave's going to beg Dave the donor. Dave the donor said that he would actually fund everything for Stupid Dave. So would he have access? Or would it be another lawyer who has been under disciplinary action in the great state of Michigan and really doesn't have a thriving career whatsoever as a lawyer? And this is the thing, I think most people have this major misconception. They think lawyers and doctors are just rich. They're so rich, filthy rich. And I can tell you that lawyers and doctors do not amass the most amount of money in America. Lawyers and doctors have amassed the most amount of debt. They live outside of their means.
And they have liability insurance.
Yeah. And so
or malpractice insurance.
So you've got another one who's going, hey, I'll pay you a portion and I'll give you the information if you leave me out of this. And so you've got two that could have access to major amount of money, both named Dave. And we're going to get to more information in regards to that. Now, one of them is publicly stated, even going on live streams, I've never messaged them about anything. And yet we shared a post today. Now, I want to be clear on this too, George. We have different emails for different businesses. And so for YouTube, there is a very specific email for YouTube that is designated for YouTube. And no, it's not whatthehales@yahoo.com. It is for YouTube. And it's when I very first started YouTube, it has my name in it. And so people have gone, that's not Jeremy's email. It's whatthehales@yahoo. No, whatthehales@yahoo is the way we allow viewers to message and communicate with us, just like a P.O. box. That's not their real address. No kidding. It's a P.O. box. So whatthehales@yahoo is for viewers to contact us, just like the P.O. box is for viewers to contact us. YouTube has its own designated email. My personal email is for my personal email, which has been doxxed. That'll be in court as well. And so, and the platform or the channel that allowed it to happen, that'll be in court against not only the person that doxed it, the person that allowed it. And so they're both going to be held responsible for that. And probably the person that was sitting there laughing at it. And so now we've got more public information going out there. And so, yes, we have multiple emails, nor do George and I share the same emails. And so, and the harassment that keeps coming through those emails, all we keep doing is just forwarding it to our legal team, and it just keeps adding up what they're doing. So this individual has messaged us through multiple email platforms. YouTube, and the way that they got that is from a copyright strike. So there are a couple different individuals who have gotten copyright struck, and one of them would be Stupid Dave, one of them would be Slug, Fleesa, and we could probably go a little bit further, but we're going to handle Fleesa's all in court as well. That's going to be dealt with in court as well. So that's the way that they would have access to that email where we first shared the comment that came through. Now you also have whatthehales@yahoo, and there have been messages coming through whatthehales@yahoo, which today what we shared, I mean, we've been sharing multiple this week. You literally see, I don't have a legal team. I've compiled, you see it from him as he's stating he's never said anything about legal, never emailed, never messaged. What's he compiling stuff for?
Do you think maybe he's bipolar too and has multiple personalities, and that's why he doesn't remember emailing multiple times?
My honest opinion is he was probably what do the kids call it nowadays? Flying high. I don't know. I just don't know why he keeps. I don't know why he keeps bullying me. I'm an old man. I'm almost 50 now, and why he keeps bullying me and stealing my content, I don't get it. And then crying to be a victim as he's bullying. That's rather interesting. But then denying ever doing anything, and yet we show proof after proof, and all of this is going to be in court. I mean, the reality is this: anybody funding this, you're going to find out every single lie in the evidence in court that these people have told.
Patty
We
Cake
are
says
going to get to that person.
Patty Cake says rugs are bad.
Yeah, rugs are pretty bad. So what do you have on your mind tonight, George?
So for the last 2 Sundays, we've been going over a timeline of where the channel started, when it was born, and how we got to where we are today. And I started off with going all the way back to 2017. And I mentioned that I ran out of time. I didn't have time to do it because I only have a small window. Like, believe it or not, but Monday through Saturday, I'm busy working on our reselling business.
Wait, hold a second. We actually work for our money?
Yes. Yes.
We got this all wrong, babe. We got
I
this
actually
all
put
wrong.
in labor. I put in labor, and I focus during the week. I focus on our reselling business. Okay.
You mean you don't post 100 things a day online, and when you should be taking care of your kids, which I think it's debatable whether kids are even with some of these people or not. That's not what we actually work. We have jobs.
I do have a job, and I don't go live for 5 to 7 hours talking about what the Hales. I mean, it is our life. I don't think I can talk for 5 to 7 hours a night about my own life.
Yeah, that's the funniest part. You and I could never even go live for that long talking about our own lives. These people grift off of our own lives, and they go live, and they would have nothing without us. Nothing. And what I mean by that is we haven't given them anything.
No.
The only thing that they can do to become relevant for any viewer is to talk about us. We can't even talk about ourselves for that long.
No, and it's pretty sad. And Felisa's one of those people that can't think of anything original on her channel. I mean, you can go back and look at the history of her channel and how she was even talking about you long before Lynette came in. She was obsessively talking and posting about you too, long before Lynette came into the picture. Long before, but she never referred to you by your name. She called you a different name.
Well, and I think it's extremely concerning for both you and I that this new stalker is so obsessed with me.
She's obsessively posting about you too.
Oh,
like if we were doing that to her, she would consider it harassment and bullying and all this other garbage, but it's okay for her to do it. It's a little bit hypocritical.
Let me be very clear with everybody out there and these stalkers. Even if George and I aren't together, you don't have a chance with me. So stop. You don't and won't ever have a chance with me.
Well, what I don't understand is when she harassed us by emailing us first, she clearly stated in her long rant, it was a long manic rant email, to be humble himself. But she sits there and brags about herself on multiple social media platforms. Like when is this person going to take their own advice and humble themselves?
I think when Hale's freezes over.
So back to the timeline of the channel and the type of video vlogs that we post.
Wait, before you get into the timeline, I just want to be very clear with everybody. very clear with everybody, as I am sarcastically saying they would never have a chance with me. Reality is they would never ever have a chance with me anyway. Okay. So regardless of George and I, they would never ever have a chance with me. Now, I will also say this. Who would want a chance with me? I am a middle-aged, balding, bloated, fat guy. Like, I am not something that people are looking for. And the only thing that people would be looking for from me anyway is money. And that's the wrong person. And I don't care what you look like on the outside. You are dog butt ugly if that's your motive on the inside. And so I don't think I am the greatest thing since sliced bread. As a matter of fact, I don't think I'm anything special to look at. I think I have a good sense of humor. I'm successful in business, and I think that's what anybody sees is they want a piece of that money pie. So as I'm saying, they would never have a chance with me. This is my serious moment. I was being sarcastic. They would never have a chance with me anyway. The only thing they would want from me is money, because I ain't exactly eye candy anymore. I might have been somewhat. I might have been candy in the past, in my prime, but I was the candy that your grandma kept in her purse after she pulled it out of her mouth and then put it in there and it got dust and lint and glitter and sparkles all over it. I wasn't the best kind of candy.
A Werther's candy?
Yeah. That was already sucked on halfway through with fuzz on it. That's the only candy I was in my prime. In my prime, that's the candy I was. All right, let's hit the timeline.
All right. So I don't remember where I left off, but let's go back to 2021, right? Where we were doing treasure hunting on the ranch, looking for the 100K. And then I remember specifically back in March of 2021, where we made a video where we explored an area that we hadn't explored before, which was told to us by many of the locals that there used to be 3 mobile homes in that area. Right? Am I using the correct terminology? There was mobile homes there?
3 mobile homes, 3 septics, 3 electric poles.
So when we explored that area, we were with 2 other people, and did we find 2 of the septic or all 3 of them? I can't remember.
So there's only 2 septics. We were told there were 3. That was wrong. There's only 2 septics, and I found 1 power pole.
Okay. And then I think didn't we find 2 electrical boxes as well that day?
I thought only 1, but I don't know. It was a long time ago.
So March of 2021 is when we made that video. And if you remember, there was a part where Jeremy's on the road, North Otter Creek Avenue, and the camera, which is me, I was the camera person, I panned over to the property where Lynette and Crook live. That was right across the street from that area. And you talk about how you want to put Airbnbs there, and then you would furnish the B&Bs with things that we found in storage units, and everyone would have a theme. Each one would have a theme, right? And so that was March of 2021. And now in that area now where we did that video is now known as Tubetown. So the mayor of Tubetown has cleaned up that area, and it is now Tubetown, where Lynette delusionally thinks that there is a surveillance camera in the birdhouse, which is not correct. That is false.
Oh my goodness, these crazy
because people. She makes up stories. This woman makes up stories, and then sometimes law enforcement officers believe her, and then some or other were like, whatever. They blow her off. Like,
by the way, law enforcement officers, you know the one thing we never shared about Mackinliar?
What?
Go ahead. What was his profession before he got into law enforcement?
He made cakes. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with making cakes. Remember we used to binge watch on Is That Cake? Will It Cake?
Yeah, but he was a cake decorator for 9 years, was it? Or 6 years? 6 or 9 years?
It was more than one handful of years.
Before he got into law enforcement. And my personal opinion is Mackinliar should go back to cake decorating.
Either that, or he needs to be educated and need more training on how to be impartial.
You can't fix what he's doing. He needs to leave the profession
This is
completely.
true. This is true. But you know what's sad about McIntyre is that both sides are both like, this is a bad officer. Like he is not doing his job, because Lynette has said that about him and we have said that about him. So it's pretty sad when you got both sides complaining about the same officer, about how unprofessional they are. Pretty sad.
But I'm not saying I wouldn't buy a cake from him. Nah,
I
buy a
wouldn't.
cake from him.
You don't know what he put in there. You don't know what he put in there.
Yeah.
So then looking back at the history of when that piece of property hit the MLS, there was no history prior to that piece of property ever being on the market and ever being on the MLS. And it hit the market February of 2021. So a month prior to when we released that video. There's no other history of it being on the market, right? And then Lynette took that information that you were going to put these B&Bs and put it in her own court filing, that she watched that video and said, "Oh, you know what? It would be a good idea to buy that piece of property because the market value would increase based on what you were going to do and your plans of that property, that piece of the 70 acres, because 70 acres is a lot."
Funny how her property value hasn't increased at all. As a matter of fact, it looks even trashier than it did in the beginning.
Yeah. So then, again, and anybody, this is all public record. Anybody could look it up and you'll see that it never had any history of being for sale on the market to the public until February of 2021. And so there's
so to clarify, Lynette was never watching the property because the property was never up for sale. Therefore, there was no way for Lynette to ever watch the property. Lynette, caught in her own lie again, she stalked us. And she even put in her court documents, she watched that video particularly and went, the property value is going to skyrocket. And she thought she was going to get money from us.
Yes. And the moment we met her, we knew her intentions were bad. You just know. You have to go by your intuition. You meet people all the time, especially when you're a social media, when you put your lives out on the line, out online, and you video vlog your own personal life. When you meet somebody for the first time, you know whether they have good intentions or bad intentions. Lynette telling you and me the very first time I ever met her that she wanted Crook out of her life and she wanted him unalived.
She wanted it. Those are the first sentences that came out of her mouth meeting me.
That's exactly what she told me as well. When I first met her, the very first time when we finally closed on the vacant, empty church, the old church lot. All right, so fast forward back to that specific video, March of 2021. In June of 2021, we started looking for a Ramsey's 2.0 because our business was growing. We needed two trucks that can haul trailers. So we initiated the process back in June, and then also in June of 2021 is when Camp Hale's was hosted. And there's a video that I want to play, a specific video that I want to play of you skydiving for the very first time. And that was June of 2021.
So now, as you prep that, I want to be clear, Camp Hale's 2.0 happened. George got deathly sick. I came back to Ohio, and then particular individuals ransacked all the strong drink that I had in the back of the ranch house, and without permission whatsoever. And George and I don't drink, so without permission. And they got belligerent. They got out of control. And to where the point I said, I will never, and they were all on security cameras doing this, and I would never, ever, ever host a Camp Hale's again. And I won't. It will never, ever happen again. And you can figure out who the main culprit is. It's not very difficult to figure that out. That person is not a part of our life. That person is going to be in court. As a matter of fact, that person isn't being sued in Ohio. That person's being sued in Florida, and it's coming. So
to add to that, yes, it's true, we don't drink, But Jeremy wanted to hold on to all of the strong drink that he found in storage unit in case we needed it to barter in the future. Because I asked him too, like, why are we holding on to this? And he's like, because we may need it to barter in the future.
And I'm not even a prepper, but I was like, preppers do it. We should. We found it.
So he kept it for barter purposes, and we still have it in case he needs to barter because the world's coming to an end. So whatever. So anyways, I want to play the clip. You ready to see the clip?
Yep.
Okay. This takes the video that I clipped takes it starts off the moment you landed on the ground with your instructor because you did tandem jumping.
And by the way, it wasn't just the drinking that happened while I was gone. Destroyed relationships with businesses that I set up things for. Those individuals destroyed, hurt relationships. One of those relationships is with Gatorland. And so never again will I ever allow these people in my lives. All right, go ahead.
Ready? All right, let's watch the video.
I just got to say one thing. I love turtles, and that's why they're on the ground. That was amazing.
Did you like it? Conky's passed out. Would you like to do it again?
Oh, man, again, Andre.
Yeah?
We're doing it again.
Yeah.
I'm bringing George next time.
Too soon, George. The turtles are too soon.
So for those of you that are new to the channel, Jeremy would always say, "A la toros." And guess who wanted to bring a turtle rescue across the street? Fans would send in t-shirts. Fans would send in gifts, tortoises, turtles, all kinds of gifts that was turtle related because you would always say, "A la toros." A la toros. And again, that was June of 2021. So then fast forward, July of 2021 is when Lynette and Crook and the child came down to take a look at the property in person. And they brought Jamie, who is the godmother of the child. And they took a picture in front of the 70 acres. There's 3 driveways to the 70 acres.
And to be clear, lied to me, said they owned the property, had me illegally trespassing with my tractor on the property to remove a downed tree. All lies. I could have gotten in huge trouble.
Yes. So that, and Jamie told you in front of Lynette, with Lynette standing right next to her, that the only reason why Lynette is purchasing this property is to be close to you.
Yes.
Because I remember
I called you and told you about it.
Immediately you told me about it, and I was like, that's just so weird. So weird. And you're like, yeah, they want to bring a turtle rescue. And I'm thinking, why does Otter Creek need a turtle rescue?
No, they need a baseball team.
So here's the picture. Here's the picture of her and Jamie in front of the drive-through sign. So that's one of 3 driveways on the 70 acres.
That's our property. Right there, they're trespassing on our property, did not ask for permission.
And that picture was taken July 18th of 2021. And this was posted on her Instagram, and she wrote, "What the Hales, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point." There's 4 exclamation points that I could see. It says, "My new neighbor, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point." First of all, she didn't even own the property then. She didn't even have her house up on the market then, and is already claiming that you're the new neighbor. What the Hales is her new neighbor. She puts, "Loving my life, period, paid for land, building new house, new Jeep Gladiator, and a beautiful baby girl, period, a new beginning, exclamation point, hearts on the mend." So why would her heart be on the mend if life was so perfect and everything was perfect in Northport, and that she had granite top counters and it was renovated and all this other stuff, and the mayor and the commissioners all loved her and supported her and were her friends? Like, why would she want to move if life was so perfect in Northport?
Probably because she burns the bridge everywhere, lies about everybody, slanders them, defames them, and then she has to move and go. And we have found the police reports that life wasn't good in Northport and the people
No.
did not like her or him.
No, they didn't help her with her rescue. They didn't donate to her. There's text messages. Witnesses have come forward from Northport, posted messages back and forth that nobody's willing to help her and she has no friends. So let's see, back to July of 2021 is when you experienced your first hurricane with Hurricane Elsa.
Yes. That was the naked and afraid version. And my clothes were so soaked, I went out filming and I was naked. And I just had a turtle blanket wrapped around me. And then fans later said, hey, we can see, well, you know, there's somebody out there right now posting like crazy as they're obsessed with how hung I am, calling me the hung something. Literally, it's a hater, but they are obsessed with talking about how hung I am.
Well, that's inappropriate. That's inappropriate because isn't this person married with children?
Well, you know, filed for divorce 3 times in the past year. Extremely inappropriate. But, you know, maybe they saw that naked and afraid version of my first hurricane. So I don't know.
All right. So July 19th of 2021 is when you filmed the town dump across the street of the 70 acres, not even knowing you were trespassing because
I was told it was owned and it was all a lie. Yep.
So there is a video out there showing how disgusting the property was and how much work needed to be done. And just by looking at it, people could tell how much money would need to go into it to clear out that type of property that used to be a dump that was vacant for 10 plus years. Houses were deemed inhabitable, needed to be demolished, and everything needed to be knocked, dozed over and cleared. And there's glass till this day. There's still glass, broken glass, rusted nails, snakes, sharp objects, and that's why she doesn't let the child play, but she wants to blame Jeremy that her child can't play in the yard when she bought that property knowing that it had all those dangerous sharp things. So then later on in July, like days later, is when Lynette finally put her Northport home up on the market. So her house wasn't even up on the market when she came down to visit and posted that picture in front of the drive-through sign. So then fast forward back in exactly August 4th of 2021. I don't know when the video was taken, but it was published and released on August 4th of 2021 was the infamous rock unit that people still talk about to this day.
Yeah. The rock unit. By the way, as we're talking about, I'm going to use the driveway joke. The whole driveway joke was never our joke. It never came from me and George. It came from the individual in Ohio who is being sued in Florida. And while that lawsuit isn't filed yet, that lawsuit is coming. That whole joke, all those jokes about me were all based from him. All of them.
Speaking of driveways, let's talk about the 3 driveways on the ranch. So where that drive-through sign was, that's one driveway that takes you straight to the cell tower. Where Tubetown is, that's the second driveway. When those mobile homes were there, they all shared a driveway.
Yep.
And the third driveway is the main driveway that takes you all the way back to the ranch.
To the ranch house.
So because Lynette and Kirk have both lied to law enforcement saying that there is no driveway there.
And in court. They lied saying there's no driveway. Yeah. And we have a 4th driveway since we bought the church property. There's the driveway that goes.
So there is 4.
So we literally in our road frontage, we have 4 driveways.
All right. And then on August 14th of 2021, the worst landlord had your trailer towed and another tenant's box truck towed. Remember, you weren't the only tenant that was sued. It was you along with multiple tenants in that building that she sued. You countersued because she did it the wrong way. You never even got a 30-day discharge or a 30-day letter.
Eviction.
Eviction, yes.
And
So-
nothing that she did was legal anyway, because she had a partnership and she was in a business partnership. And my lease literally said all money goes towards, and you make the money towards this. The check is out to this. And she wanted me to pay her directly. And I said, no, that would be breaking the lease. That would be illegal. And then we went to court. And that just goes to show you, where there's money, there's always a scammer and a con artist trying to get their hands on it. And she stole my trailer, my 20-foot trailer, and she stole somebody else's box truck.
And there's a video out there where you call local impound parking lots to see if if a trailer that fit your description and a box truck was located, and you couldn't find it. There's haters out there that are claiming that you knew where it was all along. If that was the case, why did you have to buy another trailer if we knew where it was all along? Do you see how they make up stories and just twist it and the delusions kick in? All right, so then fast forward on October 28th of 2021, Lynette emails us at whatthehales@yahoo.com. She emails us to inform us that she is now living at the campground full time and that the drive-through sign is gone. There's the email. Notice how the email pops up as Lynette Preston, but then she signs it as Michelle Preston. So Thursday, October 28, 2021 at 4:30 p.m., she says, we just want to let you know that we are living here full time now. We are at Shady Oaks, and that your red drive-through sign is gone. You probably took it, and there are parking in front of the gate now. There's 2 cars there right now parked in front of the gate. We don't know if you did it or not, but just thought we would be courteous and let you know. We hope all is well. Lyshell Preston. So she uses talk to text, poor grammar, no punctuation. I mean, I'm not the best speaker in the world, but if I'm going to type somebody, if I'm going to write a text to someone or an email to someone, I'm going to make sure that there's punctuation marks, and so that I can sound somewhat educated. But that was her email to us. Let's see. And she got the idea of living on the campground because we did that first.
You mean she watched more than one, maybe 2 of our videos, even though she told the judge in court, I've watched 1, maybe 2 videos from What the Hales? Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. By the way, we have a ton of text messages of
I just want to be clear. We had a wonderful time staying at Shady Oaks Campground. Wonderful time. And our first friends are still friends today, Brett and Therese. And so we appreciate them. They welcomed us with open and loving arms. And they were the first ones. And so we had a wonderful, wonderful experience at Shady Oaks. I can't say enough about that.
They're in the chat now. Madam Mayor's Adventures was in the chat. I don't know if they are now, but they are. And Madam Mayor recently had a birthday. I made sure I wished her a happy birthday. All right. So fast forward, November 16 of 2021 is when you bid on the new warehouse where Christian attended his first real estate auction. So that was exactly November 16 of 2021. And then you got the keys to the new warehouse December 23rd of 2021. So you came in hot towards the end of the year with keys to a new warehouse. So you didn't have to go into the following year with the worst landlord ever.
Because now we are our landlords. And we've never shut the power or the water off on ourselves or stolen our trailers.
This is true. This is so true. All right. So then let's move. I know we're running out of running out of time, but in 2021, you got the keys to Hale's headquarters in Ohio because you met Lynette in 2021, and we were like, what in the Hales? We need to seclude ourselves and not allow this to happen again in our home state.
And to be clear, We did not buy the house for the house. We bought the property for the property because nobody can build around us. The government owns the property around us. We will never, ever have a close neighbor, nor would Lynette and Crook ever be able to afford to live in this area in the first place. But the house had nothing to do with it. It is a beautiful house, and we praise the Lord for it. It had everything to do with buying a piece of property where we could feel safe
Seclusion.
and secluded from stalkers because of what we've experienced with Lynette and Crook.
Yes. So, well, not to mention, no one can buy property next to us and then pretend like they're putting a turtle rescue there. That's not open to the public. So then fast forward April 21st of 2022, Lynette herself contacts one of the local newspapers in Levy County so that an article can be written about her tortoise rescue. But you want to know what I find funny and very
That she puts
odd?
in what the Hales?
She conveniently puts in what the Hales. At this point, I had never met the woman. You did the day that you helped her with the tractor, and you met her and the godmother throwing her under the bus by saying that she moved there to be close to you. And so had an article written on her tortoise rescue and conveniently included what the Hales that had over 500,000 subscribers. Why would she do that when it's all about her tortoise rescue relocating to Levy County? And again, this is all public record. You can look it up yourself, but I will show I'm not going to read the entire article. I'm going to show the front page of the article, and then I'm going to skip over to where she mentions what the Hales and how many subscribers we had at the time. Is that okay?
Is the child shown in the article?
No, but their tortoise George is.
Okay.
The front.
I was just going to say, I was curious if they've filed a frivolous lawsuit against the Chiefland citizen because the child's image was there. But yeah, go ahead, show it.
Well, the child's image was used in Northport.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was in that paper. Yeah.
When she had that newspaper article written about her struggling mom.
She calls Channel 20, and then yeah.
Mm. So here's the front page, Levy Citizen. It's a
nice redaction. Nice redaction.
Tortoise rescue relocates to Levy County. It was written April 21st, 2021. There's the tortoise George, which we met him in person. Super cute, super friendly. He is featured in a video. The day that she wanted to give us ducks, or else she would unalive them. She wanted all the male ducks.
She was going to kill her ducks if we didn't take them. Which we have an open range philosophy. And so they don't go, even our chickens go in the coop at night, but they free range during the day. And she had them pinned up. They were in horrible condition.
Well, she said they were worthless to her because they don't lay eggs. That's why she wanted to get rid of the drakes. She only kept the females and wanted to get rid of the males because they were useless to her because they don't produce eggs.
And she was going to pop a cap in them if we didn't take them. And we went, okay, we'll take them. They can hang out at our pond.
So
we didn't want to see them being unalived. Yeah.
So here it says the land was profiled in its previously I can't say that word.
Derelict.
State in a video by the YouTubers What the Hales, who have more than 500,000 subscribers. It's a Hell Thing is currently home to 8 tortoises as well as an assortment of turtles and some fowl. While not directly part of their mission, they recently took in some birds that were in need of a home. So that's where the ducks come in. She also had chickens. And then it goes on to say that there's no license required in Florida to keep a tortoise. So people get them as babies and they do not always realize. And then that's the article goes on. There's more to the article, but I wanted to highlight the first page and the third page, the third screenshot, I should say, because I took the screenshot with my phone, where she specifically highlights What the Hales and the number of subscribers that we have, which I thought was odd that she even included in that article, which I wouldn't have known about that article, but she posted it herself in her friends and family Facebook group.
Let me say something about the person that came forward for a deal, because I know we got an auction here soon. The person that asked for a deal asked to pay a certain amount of money and to give information to be dropped from the federal lawsuit. This person obviously knows this is a very serious situation. And if it's a lawyer, MLS making liable simple, you know he knows how serious this is. Now, Stupid Dave's pretty stupid. Yet at the same time, I'm pretty sure he knows how serious and how deep he's in now. And so at any rate, regardless of who it is, this is a very, very serious lawsuit with very, very serious implications. Now, what I will share openly, because we are talking about it and talked about it last week, and it did happen. And what I mean by did happen, they asked for a deal. We did not accept, which is why we are openly discussing it. And you will find out which David is. You will. You absolutely will. But I want to make it crystal clear. There will be no deals for anyone. Everyone will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. We didn't need the information to put them away. We have plenty as it is already. Plenty. And so we never accepted the deal. The deal was brought to us. The deal was wiped off the table. No deal for none of these fools, for none of these freaks, for none of these stalkers, defamers, harassers. Fullest extent of the law. That's the deal for every single one of them. But we got a deal for everybody else. You can win $100 tonight.
We're giving away $100 during our live auction. I'm going to go there now to set up. We love you guys. We'll see you over on the app for our live auction.
Okay, you can jump on the pinned comment, head over, and we're going to be doing a lot of money tonight. Gold foils and money and all kinds of collectibles. So I'll jump over there with you, George.
All right, see you guys over there.
Stay with